What up, my boys, and welcome back to FenCrazyThing 9. We are in the final stages of the tournament, not far from crowning our champion. Only 2 matches left to go. That is the lower bracket final, which we're about to see now, between Tribal and Default, followed by the grand final, where Naga is already waiting for the winner of this match right here. Now, so far, we have not seen any rematches in this tournament. Every matchup has been unique, but regardless of the outcome of this lower bracket final, the grand final will be a rematch and a chance for revenge for either Tribal or Default against Naga, which has defeated both of these AIs, but closely. Both of those matches were 2-1, and the grand final will be a best of 5. So maybe a chance for revenge for one of them. And we can jump over to the game. I've already set up the civilizations for Tribal. It plays not all civilizations, only the ones that were available before the definitive edition. Default, of course, plays everything. The first game of this best of 3 match will be, as always, the 1v1. We are on FenCrazy, and we are at the whims of its gods. What is it gonna be today? We have Tribal on the Saracens, Default on the Malay, and there has been an update to the game 2 days ago, which also brought with it an update to the Default AI. And we did already see a critical bug in the Default AI, that it wasn't able to play the old land nomad start, where you have to build a lumber camp first. If you see a generation like this, it's not gonna be in this game, that's for sure. We start with 1 lumber camp, 3 villager, 1 TC, I should say, 3 villagers and a scout. So pretty normal start. And also with an archery range. If you can take a look at the map, it already looks like there's some water on it. 1 small lake here with a bit of shorefish, but not much. And on the other side there is some deep fish as well. And there's quite a bit of food on those deep fish, but it's also only a very small body of water where those fish are, and that is quite far away from the starting positions of the AIs. But in the middle it looks relatively open, so maybe a chance for Tribal to be victorious here with its aggressive feudal rush. We know that Default is one of the it used to be one of the very conservative, boomy, passive AIs. Nowadays it can also do a pretty good feudal rush. I've seen it, especially with scouts, a scout rush from this AI. I've seen that be very effective. But as we already see here, FenCrazy has given us turkeys with 23,000 food on them. And a ton of them too, 18 of them. Not all of them have that much food, but enough of them do that. I don't think these turkeys are ever gonna run out. We're gonna have a map with tons of natural food sources on them just from the sheep themselves. The berries are limited, but not important because of the sheep. There seems to be no hunt. Well, there is some neutral deer in the middle, but no deer. Okay, there is some deer here around Tribal. I don't think there's any deer for Default, except, well, unless this here is Default's deer and not neutral. Either way, it shouldn't be important. There's also no boars whatsoever. Is that the main gold? No, it's not the main gold. The main gold for Default is over here. And, well, there's less gold on it than normal. And also on this one. But they are pretty big piles. But this I guess this is the neutral gold. And this is another neutral gold. No, this is the neutral gold. Okay, I guess it is one of the golds that should belong to Default that's bugged here. So I'm not going to restart for that. It's not critically bugged. A critically bugged start. It's maybe a bit of a disadvantage for Default, but I doubt the game will go long enough for it to have much of an impact. Oh, is that SD in the chat? What up, my boy? Long time no see. Yes, you're watching your own AI fighting for a chance to make it to the grand final of the FenCrazyThing 9. That is correct. And I think it should be a good map for it, right? Pretty open. We know Tribal likes to go for these skirm meta, full skirmishers in feudal age, and starting with an archery range as well might speed it up a bit. I'm not sure if the lots of food are gonna be an advantage for Tribal or for default. On the turkeys, we've seen that some of these turkeys have not this one here. 23,000 was on that. So a lot of them are gonna be pretty much unlimited. They can eat these turkeys for the whole game. But yes, Tribal will most likely go for a skirmisher flush. I mean, almost certainly it's all it does. And once it gets to Castle Age, it will also add in knights, so then it's gonna be knights and skirmishers in Castle Age. That's what Tribal does. It sticks to a very simple game plan, but it is quite effective on open maps. And this is an open map, so should be good for Tribal, I think. Default, on the other hand, has quite a variety of strategies these days. So we're gonna be surprised by what it's gonna do. Trees also have more wood on them than normal. More than double, actually. And this is a really good lumber camp here for default. So you don't have to, maybe not gonna have to build that many extra lumber camps in this game compared to normal. Maybe an advantage for an AI that has trouble with that anyway. But we already see a dock being built from default here. In the lake that has the deep fish. But is it making fishing ships? No, it is not yet. It has clicked up to the feudal age with 24 villagers. Tribal also on 24 villagers, 25 now, and now clicking up. It's making a barracks. I guess it needs it to make more archery ranges after this one, but it already has one, of course. And looks like default with its dock is still not making any fishing ships. It does not have the wood for it. It is dropping a barracks of its own. And I'm gonna check the scouting now to see if they have found each other. Default has definitely found the mill, at least, and a lumber camp from Tribal. But Tribal has not found Default, and its scout seems to be bugged. Okay, that's a problem here for Tribal. Not having found, it cannot really... We know Tribal relies on its aggression, on its feudal age aggression especially. And if it has not found the enemy, then that could be a problem for Tribal here. Because I don't know what the scout is doing, it seems to be bugged. I don't know if that's DOC control or what. Normal scout control should not bug out if there's any spaces that are inaccessible. It should just try to explore the things it can explore. So far, not having found the enemy, that is a problem. And okay, we see looks like another bug tower from Tribal. We've seen a lot of bug towers. It usually tries to build a tower forward. Now it hasn't found the enemy, but I've seen it in many games this tournament that Tribal tries to actually places the tower foundation close to the enemy, like a forward tower, but it only places the foundation. It doesn't build it. It only places the foundation. It never assigns a villager to actually build it. So that's a bug that seems to happen in every Tribal game. Of course, this game it hasn't found the enemy, so it builds it in some arbitrary place, I guess. Where's the scout now for Tribal? Let me try and find it. Okay, it's going forward. Let's see if it can find Default. We have Tribal on 2 archery ranges, blacksmith also being built, skirmishers in production. And yes, it has found the enemy. That is good. We also see Default with some military production here. It has 2 archery ranges, it's making archers and skirmishers, so the archers, not a good choice against Tribal, obviously, because they're gonna be hard countered by the skirms. And the dock was built, but it is still not making any fishing ships, so that dock seems to have been built for nothing. That was kind of a waste from Default there. And Tribal's army is on the attack. Right now it's just chasing around the scout from Default. It's unfortunate. But now going forward, having lost the scout, Default's military, which is mostly archers, is still garrisoned inside of its archery ranges. And Tribal already has both of the blacksmith upgrades for its skirmishers, +1 and +1 armor as well. And it is on the attack, and the first villagers from Default are going idle. Default, you saw there, tried to build a defensive tower, but it was way too late. I don't think the tower is gonna go up as long as Tribal stays around this area. It has ungarrisoned its military, and oh, don't get too close there, Tribal. Your skirmishers have minimum range, and also sometimes taking some TC fire, which is not that bad for skirmishers. You see the skirmishers have 4 pierce armor, and default does also have fletching, so the TC does at least do 2 damage per shot to the skirmishers, but still skirmishers are quite fine tanking TC fire. Now the tower is being built again, not being cancelled this time. Tribe is still sticking around there, dipping in and out of TC range, but most of the archers from default are dead now. It has its own skirmishers, and it is not making more military. Default is not producing anything right now. Building a 3rd archery range, even though it can't build anything, cancelled the tower again. And now tribal skirmishers move on, found the gold mine and push the villagers up there. If it goes further here, it can find the lumber camps as well. It looks like default building a market is probably going to try to go up to Castle Age, but it has no resources in the bank. It's a long way away from that. Tribal, on the other hand, has quite a good economy, banking up some wood and food, and should be able to go to Castle Age not that far into the future, and it is building a market of its own. Meanwhile, default here still in stock, did nothing, it was built in Dark Age, but never made a single fishing ship, or anything else for that matter. Tribal skirmishers sticking around here, battling it out, and still a massive numerical superiority for Tribal. It looks like a very good start for Tribal, and a game it should win, if everything goes according to plan and no critical bugs happen in this game, and so far it looks good for Tribal. Default is producing some skirmishers of its own. It has also both blacksmith upgrades. That's its starting scout right there. Went down just now. It did manage to build a defensive tower, but quite far forward. That's not really protecting anything. Tribal also adding in a few archers of its own now to maybe do more economic damage. The skirmishers still sticking around this gold mine, denying the gold from default. Oh, and Tribal just said it's castling, and indeed it is up to the Castle Age, dropping its stable. We know it will add in some knights as soon as it arrives in the Castle Age. And that might be game over at that point, because default still making pure skirmishers to match the army of Tribal. Did not make any scouts or anything like that. Only skirmishers, and the skirmisher masters seem about even. But it is nowhere near going up the Castle Age. It still has no resources in the bank whatsoever. Tribal, as soon as it arrives in Castle Age and can add in knights, it should be able to deal the finishing blow here. I'm not sure if it has even gotten any villager kills. Actually, no. It doesn't look like default has lost any villagers. It's 45 villagers for default, 41 for Tribal. That's mostly because Tribal is researching the Castle Age, so the TC cannot make villagers in that time. But yes, big skirmisher mass from default, 23, but as soon as the knights come in, that won't matter anymore. Actually, more skirmishers than Tribal has here, and a lot of these skirmishers from Tribal also low HP. So Tribal default taking the fight now. Could thin out this skirmisher mass, but now the Castle Age has been reached. Second stable also being built, first knight in the queue. No upgrades for the skirmishers yet. It could research elite skirmisher and botkin arrow. There we go. Botkin arrow and elite skirmishers being researched for Tribal. Then it will have the advantage in this fight if its skirmishers stay alive long enough. No knights yet. There comes the first one. It will take some time to arrive, but default is so far away from the Castle Age. I don't see it being able to defend from the knights. And the knights shouldn't care about the tower here at all. Even though the tower has been doing some trickle damage to these skirmishers. The archers are somewhat trying to stay out of range and fighting. I think the skirmisher micro from Tribal is quite good, but so is default. You saw every time the Tribal skirmishers shoot, the default skirmishers went into split formation and then back into line formation. You saw that? That is quite interesting and good micro there from both players. But now 3 knights are here. They're taking out the forward tower, the defensive tower from default as its first priority. 4th knight now also here. They don't have any upgrades, but they don't really need to, because these are still feudal skirmishers. Okay, I guess now the default is getting close. It has now finally managed to click up the Castle Age itself, but the knights are here. They are not diving the TC. They are just attacking buildings so far, and I don't see any No upgrades for the Knights either. So it could research some cavalry armor upgrades and dive the TC. That's usually the best choice in these kind of situations. But no, it keeps researching skirmisher upgrades. And the Knights are avoiding the TC, but Tribal has added in a second town center, so now it should be able to pull ahead in economy. So far the villager numbers are still even, but not for much longer. Tribal has some archers, and it has both the blacksmith upgrades from Castle Age, but no crossbow upgrade. Tribal default has reached the Imperial Age, the Castle Age, and is researching Elite Skirmisher upgrade, but no blacksmith upgrades. And also Bosa. And now the Knights are somewhat diving to TC. Okay, villager kills are finally coming in for Tribal. There we go. Villagers going down. A lot of villagers idle under default's TC. This looks to be game over here. If we compare populations, 53 population, 54 population, 55 population from default. And Tribal already at double that. 94 population. Yeah, this game is over. I can actually speed it up now. Good showing from Tribal here. Maybe you're gonna make it to the grand final after all. Sorry, I missed your chat. What did you say as the Illuminati was a competitive in big feudal battles? No, Illuminati won't try to go for feudal anymore. That's a waste of time in my opinion now. You gotta pick and choose what you focus on in AI development. And that is something I chose to forego entirely, to focus on the other things. So no, Illuminati will not fight in feudal, I'm afraid to say. Yeah, looks like completely game over. No army left for default. Villagers, well, a bit of skirmishers, but they're not gonna do anything. Tribal has one armor upgrade for the Knights. I mean, just get the second armor upgrade and dive the TC. At this point, yeah, you could dive the... Yeah, Ram has arrived. TC being dived and almost down. Yeah, TC is gonna go down. It's gonna eject its villagers any moment. And that's game over. Default resigns. GG, 1-1. First game, Tribal got a good map for itself and won it in the way it likes to. You could say it's lucky. Yes, it is, but it can take advantage of a lucky start. And I have to restart my game, of course. If you've been following this tournament, you will know that I restart the game between every single map just to reset the random seeds, because as we know, the Definitive Edition random map generator is not very random. We often get the same map twice in a row. Happens all the time if you go testing. Yes, 4v4 could be a lot harder for Tribal, I agree. I believe in the upper bracket final versus Naga, Tribal also won the 1 versus 1. But no, not the 4v4 and not the 2v2 either. And I believe being third place already guaranteed and with a chance to make it to the grand final, I think this is already the best result that Tribal has ever had in a FenCrazy tournament. It has been a long time, of course, and Tribal has been developed for all the years in between. Maybe not that much, but it is had already a very solid foundation, and any development after that, it helped Tribal keep up with the times and with the competition, quite unlike Illuminati, which only came back very recently. So a third place finish here, giving testament to that. Now we are in the 4 versus 4 Tribal versus default. I have to select custom civs for all the tribals, and they are in team 1. Let me just check that the civilizations are correct. I mean, SD, you can take a look at the civilizations. I'm pretty sure I've got them all correct. That is the ones that were available before DE. And so far, it has seemed good. And let's jump into the 4 versus 4. Is it gonna be anything crazier here, or will we have another good chance with an open map for tribal? Oh, okay. We have an arena, actually. Maybe not that good for tribal. And okay, that is a bit of a... walls nested inside of each other, but I'm not gonna call this a bugged start. No. I called it a bugged start once when there was castles in range of TCs, but right now, yes, there's towers in range of walls and walls inside of each other. And maybe the bushes from this tribal here being ranged by the towers. I'm not gonna restart it though. Other than that, it looks pretty good. On this side also very close. They start with the Berserk as a scout. Boar has less food, nothing special there. Sheep have about normal food. Less berry bushes. Less gold as well. Yeah, definitely less gold on this map. But it is a 4v4, of course. They can trade. And lots of water here this time. 3 bodies of water. 1 here in the southeast. 1 in the very center of the map. And 1 on the whole northwestern side along the side. With lots of fish in them. And these fish have a lot of food on them as well. So docking here in any of these bodies of water could be beneficial. And they could even be fighting over them with Navy. Is that gonna be what's gonna happen? We'll see. Like, this left side should be mostly in control of tribal, unless red here decides to place a dock there. And oftentimes we see that it keeps. When we see a tower start on FenCrazy, it's always keeps. I'm not sure if there's ever any watchtowers or guard towers or bomber towers. It's always keeps. Weirdly enough. Maybe that's just how it goes. Maybe that's also something that I could change for the next versions. But yes, 1 ball seems to be... This one is outside the wall. So inside or outside either. And okay. One of the default scouts here from Orange is already attacking the walls. And the towers, of course, have been attacking the walls from minute 1. You can see here these gates are actually overlapping this tile here. Yes, I know that tribal should be able to detect that it's a walled map, and it did delete its back walls, which is a mistake on this map, because these, in the back it's open. Usually you delete walls on arena because in the back you're surrounded by forest, but not here. So deleting its walls here on this map might have been a mistake. But I know that tribal on walled maps, on arena style maps, is not particularly good. I've tested it a bunch of times, or at least a few times, and it never had any chance against the likes of Illuminati or Default on walled maps, on arena style maps. And yes, obviously you should never try to detect the map with which map is defined. That's the worst possible method of map detection. If you're listening, Bandit. Okay, a lot of your villagers from Grey on the wrong side of the wall for this llama camp, but as soon as these 2 trees are chopped through, should be fine. Now, what are you gonna go for in terms of strategy? We already have a dock. Okay, for our llama camp, for blue here as well. Bit of inefficiency. Gonna arise from that, and oh, okay. Orange went across the map all the way over here to dock this side. I wonder why. Why it could have built a dock here or here. Instead, it chose to go to the opposite flank to red and build a dock here. So does purple. Do they have some kind of code to detect the biggest body of water? That's what I'm wondering. Because this is the biggest body of water here. And do they all just go over here, or why? Why do they all go over here with their docks? That's interesting. Okay, let's look. Is anyone up to fuel age yet? No, doesn't look like it. And one of them seems to be a bit behind. That's Grey here. Few villagers behind. Maybe because, yeah, I guess because of the berries are ranged by this tower here. So yeah, we have 3 players from default docking this side. I don't see any docks in any other bodies of water. And yellow, I believe, has not built any docks. I can check that. Yellow. Oh, it's building one now. Also in the same spot. So all 4 defaults are docking in the same spot right here. And looks like at least orange has made some fishing ships. But the others haven't, from the looks of it. Tribal has not made any docks. Okay, purple also now adding in fishing ships. Let's actually check their docks here. Yeah, red also starting fishing ships production. Yellow is doing likewise. So all of the defaults are now making fishing ships. Was that the civilian explorers bug as I just saw? I'm not sure. And what are you doing, orange? Are you seriously moving all your villagers over here to take shorefish from the docks? Is that default behavior? I'm guessing it might be default behavior that the villagers are going to the drop sites that are closest to the resource. So the villagers going across the map to take shorefish here, which that's gonna be extremely inefficient. So lots of idle time just from moving over there. Lots of idle time. Maybe a chance for Tribal to win this game after all. Even though 4v4 vault start should favor default. Maybe Tribal is getting lucky with default stock. The docks might actually backfire from default. Yes, it has a couple of fishing ships. As we know, there's a bug in the game that the first fishing ship... What's the weirdest map you saw in the current journey? Well, there were a couple of maps that I had to restart because they were bugged. There was nothing insane like the Promi vs Bambi 1v1 AISC. I don't know if there was something crazy. There were a few interesting ones with uneven land distribution and very little land, a lot of water, and foe was taking up most of the space, so there were space issues. But besides the ones that I had to restart, there wasn't anything too ridiculous. I would say what was interesting, SD, is that in one of the games, in the upper bracket actually, I think it was versus Naga, in the Naga versus Default, the Promi Derby, we saw that Default does not know how to play in old land nomad start anymore, where you have to build a lumber camp before the TC. It critically bugged out. It only built lumber camps, never built a TC. I think we got up to like 26 lumber camps in that game. Critical bug for default. That was interesting to see. But so far, Tribal did not get lucky with a land nomad start that default might potentially bug out on. Maybe the 2v2 will. We'll see, there's still a chance. But as for now, the defaults are still making fishing ships here. And have so many villagers on these fish. So many villagers on the shorefish here, which are extremely inefficient now, especially because they went all the way here to get here, and now they have to go back home. There's a lot of idle time, so the Tribals might be able to pull ahead now. We have... the defaults actually went to fuel age earlier, and there's not a lot of natural food on the map. We saw no deer, little sheep, and only 1 boar, and not many berries either, so they have to rely heavily on farming, which happens quite often in FenCrazy as well. So both of these guys seem to know how to do that. All of them are farming quite well, and of course default has its fishing ships as well. Okay, orange isn't. Orange is only now building his first pasture, but yeah, I put that down to the idle time from the villagers moving out here for the shorefish. Yes, SD, this is a best of 3. The grand final will be a best of 5. Now, what are we gonna see here in terms of military from default? I expect they're all just gonna go fast castle. That seems to be happening. Tribal, on the other hand, yeah. Stable blacksmith for gray. Stable as well. Stable blacksmith from teal as well. Stable blacksmith from green. And stable blacksmith from blue. So looks like all of the tribals want to go for, I'm guessing, knights. I don't think they play light cap. I think it's gonna be knights here. And they will go up to castle age. Blue is up. Green is on the way. Gray is up. Teal also. And for the defaults... Oh, yeah, orange was hamstrung. Everyone on the way to castle age except for orange, which is still waiting for the feudal age. I think that was mostly because of this idle time. We saw all of those villagers going over there to show the shorefish and going back now all the way across the map. And we even have another villagers going over here. Is there a lumber camp somewhere here as well? Oh, that is such an inefficiency for Orange. So Orange is definitely hamstrung. Unlike the other players seem to be fine. And Orange also walking into the towers here with this very close placement, and the towers this close to the enemy base. Orange has problems, and it just lost a villager running into those towers on top of all the idle time we already saw. So I'm guessing all of the tribals will go for knights. And yes, it does not play... Tribal doesn't play any of the Indian civs like Dravidians or Hindustanis. The civs that don't get any knights, or Bengalis. So all of these civs do get knights, of course. So it can make knights. But is that what we're gonna see? Knights from all four tribals? Yeah, looks like it. Yes, indeed. Knights from all four tribals. And the tribals, okay, some of the tribals have docked here. Also in the same spot, that's only green and teal, so the pockets from tribal have docked right in the middle of this big body of water and have also amassed quite a lot of fishing ships. And taking advantage of this fish here, and also the dock placement here is better than it is for default, because default is quite at the end of this inlet, so they have to travel quite a ways to get to the deep fish. So a bit of inefficiency there as well for the defaults. And from the tribals, only the pockets have docked. The flanks have not, and the pockets sending their knights to the flank position on this side. And what's happening on this side actually, where they're so close? Attacking the walls, I see. Is this knight not in... Okay, no. The tower is attacking the knights that walk into range, and those knights will go down. That is a keep, even without upgrades. It has 8 base attack. Oh, Orange villagers going down as well. The knights are being led into the gate by the long-range traveling villagers from Orange. Orange already having been hamstrung. Now it's losing even more villagers. It's the only one that's not up to castle age. So far behind in economy, and now losing villagers to the knights from tribal as well. It looks like Orange is about to be dead already. On the other side, we have blue and green with their knights, and a few camels from green as well, being Byzantines. They're cheaper, of course. Attacking the walls here, and it's gonna lose some of them. And can it get inside? No, but on this side there is some exposed economy from red. If they find that, they could start attacking the villagers and at least causing some idle time, maybe a villager kill as well. And there's some idle time at least. And on this side, yeah, still more villagers going down from Orange. Orange, how dead are you? 29 villagers? 37, I guess, with the fishing ships, taking the fishing ships into account. But the knights are just roaming, hoovering around the base. That's how it goes. But they are taking damage from the tower here, always. And going down to the tower, but the economy from the tribals are untouched. You see Grey on 37 villagers, 38 villagers. Teal on 44, with additional fishing ships on top of that. So that's, what, 56 economy in total? And similar for green and blue on the other side. With 3 town centers by now. Grey still on 1. Teal and green also on 1, but they do have the docks. So blue is the first tribal to add in TCs. How the defaults looking like? We have red on 3 town centers, but being raided by green and blue on this side. And tribal diving in and out of the TCs. Maybe tribal should prioritize the blacksmith upgrades on its cavalry. Like I said last game, if you get +2 armor on your knights, you can really dive TCs with impunity. Like, you look, these TCs don't even have fletching. If you get +2 on the knights, you can run under them and only take 1 damage per shot. And there's only 1 villager garrison in here. You don't really need to... It looks like Tribe is actually only retreating from the TCs when they're actually garrisoned. That's quite smart. And here they're running in and out as well. Picking up villagers wherever they can. So economic damage done to red as well. The knights are getting the job done. That's not something I'm used to seeing from tribal on walled maps. Usually on arena it's quite bad because knights are a terrible start because the meta is just monks and monks convert the knights perfectly. So here on this... Maybe this time, looks like that is the one time that Tribal strategy on an arena-style map is actually working out quite well, doing damage to both of the flanks from default. But what about the pockets from default? 3 TCs from Yellow, up to 87 villagers, and up to Imperial Age already? Went for a full boom, no military, full boom, up to Imperial Age. And, what's the other one? Purple, yes. Also up to 90 villagers, plus for some fishing ships. It made a castle and it's going for unique units, I guess. These unique units seem to be idle here. Yeah. Maybe moving out now, we see where they go, but it's not enough to really make a difference against that many tribal knights here. They are somewhat equivalent to knights in combat strength. Looks very good for tribal so far. Knights here still on the offense on both sides. Orange down to 25 population. It never even got out of fuel age. So it looks like orange is not going to have any impact in this game whatsoever. And the tribal, like you saw already, default blue here. Blue tribal has 3 TCs. You saw already green and teal had fishing ships already. Green now also on 3 TCs, so is teal and gray as well. So all the tribals are now on 3 TCs and getting their economy up. So maybe it's gonna come down to yellow, but with the Vikings, they're... Sure, you're on Imperial Age, you're about fully boomed, but what are the Vikings gonna do in Imperial Age? Your tech tree is not that great. You are definitely not a civilization that's a late game powerhouse. So default, do you have a chance to come back in this game? I'm not sure. I'm not sure you do.
Oh.
Is it gonna be tribal making its way to a FenCrazyThing grand final? Okay, we have some knocks on this side, also from yellow and red, it looks like, and from purple. So 3 of the defaults docking this side as well. And also the middle. So now the defaults have docked all bodies of water. And yellow is actually going for longbows. Looks like they have bracer, but no chemistry yet. And galleons as well, even with the galleon upgrade from yellow here. So yellow wants to invest on water. I don't know if that's gonna work out. I mean, it's better than nothing, but the knights are already attacking here. There's so many knights now from tribal. And what are the upgrades looking like? Green. Byzantines don't get bloodlines. Only 1 armor upgrade. And blue has bloodlines, but no blacksmith upgrades whatsoever. On the other side, we have teal and gray, similar, both with bloodlines and 1 armor upgrade, not 2. 2 armor upgrades would be even better, but yeah, they're even taking down the tower. This tower here already went down for orange. Now the second tower goes down, and the knights are diving the TC. They don't care anymore. It looks like orange is completely dead at this point. Most of its population is stuck in the TC and the few fishing ships over here. That's all orange has. And tribal? Fucking spam. Can you get rid of that spam, please, for next version? That would be much appreciated. Over here, they never really took out red. So red, well, it's on 60 population, so definitely far behind everyone else. Yellow is focusing on the water here, as we saw, and purple is actually going for elephants, but going to the other side, while it's under attack at home from the tribal knights that took out orange pretty much. But yeah, from the Bengalis, just Elite Ratha. Okay, no armor upgrades. Unupgraded galleys. Just Botkin Arrow. It is also in Imperial Age, but I'm not really sure what it wants to go for itself, it seems like. And yeah, you see Tribal Knights already diving all the way into the back, into the pockets, doing some economic damage there. But the Tribals, are they on the way to Imperial Age? No, not yet. Some of them are getting close with a lot of food in the bank. But the Tribal is not the fastest boomer, it focuses more on its military early on, as we know. Yellow, okay, yellow now also going for its infantry. Champions, full armor upgrades. Vikings get extra HP as well. And not many attack upgrades yet, and they could also got the... Is that still the unique tech, Chieftains? Is that still the unique tech? I believe it is, but it has not researched it yet. Actually, I can check that. Yeah, it's still Chieftains. Bonus attack versus cavalry, false infantry. It should research that to make them even better counters versus Travel's Knights. And on this side, it looks like Yellow's infantry has done the job. We have champs and pikemen. Obviously, Vikings do not get helped here. Pikemen are good. Champions are good. Both good units against cavalry. And some ships in the middle, which maybe were upgraded too much. It didn't make many ships, but it fully upgraded them. So, galleon upgrade and even elite longboard upgrade. These are not cheap upgrades. But Yellow took them without making many ships. But it is... I guess it is getting some economic damage in here. Some tribal villagers are exposed and close enough to go down against these few ships. If it made even more ships, that might actually work out for it. Because this is a bit of a choke point here. And a lot of tribals would have to move through here to attack. And as you see, there are villagers exposed all over here. This gold is gonna run out. And Yellow's actually on the attack now, so maybe Yellow single-handedly turning it around? After all, not something I expected, but full boom into Imperial Age, into fully upgraded Viking infantry and a few ships. Maybe it's getting the job done. It is versus Blue at least. Blue's starting TC has gone down, but it has more in the back. But Blue is now... Oh, Blue has suffered a lot, actually. It is down to 70 population and taking more. There's nothing more to defend against this infantry from Yellow. And Green... What are we doing, Green? Still in Castle Age, still not clicked up. They're trying to start the trade routes. But you don't... I'm not seeing much military anymore from Green. And it's taking economic damage. Yeah, this looks like this game on this side, at least, it's decisively turning into the favor of default. But on the other side, it's also, even though it's flank, orange here is completely dead. Purple is swinging the game in Imperial Age with its Imperial Age units, even though they're not fully upgraded. It's getting the job done, just booming enough. Tribal still vulnerable and not that good enough in its boom and in its late game. And maybe default can win 2v4. Is it still the same way it used to be back in the day? Like, what was it, 8-9 years ago? Where Tribal sure strong in the early game, but could lose 4v2 versus the likes of Promio Illuminati in the late game. Maybe we're seeing that dynamic play out once again in 2025. Who would have thought? Tribal's still not a good late game AI, I guess. And spamming my chat, for fuck's sake. Okay, we have Green as one tribal up to Imperial Age. Teal not yet, so Green is the only tribal up to Imperial Age. But it's under attack itself already from Yellow. Here we have a bit more ships now. Even, is that a cannon galleon here? Yeah, even a cannon galleon. And infantry in its space. It looks over for tribal. Default swung it 2v4. That is an old school dynamic. Back in play, still in 2025. It's still happening. Tribal not strong enough in its economy, in its late game, sorry. And default getting it done 2v4. Yeah, that's how it goes. And Red is gonna get back into the game as well. Red, where are you, Red? Here. Yeah, back up to 110 population. Researching Imperial Age aim. So yeah, even Red is now up to Imperial Age, despite taking a lot of damage early on. It's recovering. And it is... What are you? Japanese, another infantry civ. On the other side, looks like Grey is now dead. Same as Orange has been for a long time. Orange? What are you doing? You're on that little economy and you're repairing your barracks. Why are you repairing that? Okay. Well, I mean, sure, why not? Still in Fuel Age, of course. Still in Fuel Age, never recovered. But it will. It has a chance. It has a town center rebuild outside of its original walls. And it is slowly recovering. Maybe if the game goes long enough, it will fully recover. We'll see. So far, still too late. But orange here on this side also getting the job done 1v2 with its elite Ratha. Still no armor upgrades, but also no botkin arrow, no bracer. I mean, it has chemistry, I guess. No bracer. And it looks like, I'm not sure, does it ever switch its Ratha to melee mode, or are they always in ranged mode? So far, I've only seen it in ranged mode. Also, siege elephants, also galleons from purple here in the middle. Do they know to build the ships in the middle? I'm wondering. Okay, one is here on the outside. And on this side... Oh yeah, oh yeah! On this side, looks like Tribal lost their ships. I'm wondering how. Because I don't see any warships here from default. But now default is the one fishing here. I'm guessing these docks might have been No. Oh, sorry. I got my colors wrong. No, this is still Tribal's fish here. Still Tribal's fish. So there was no navy on this side. Now maybe red is coming for the first time. Yellow also now trebuchets, and green, even green is now about dead from the looks of it. Yeah, down to under 50 population. Looks like default is winning this. I'm speeding it up. I mean, come on, Tribal. Come on, Tribal. Your economy is still lacking. Your late game is still weak. Being able to lose basically 2v4. I mean, it's old school Tribal, isn't it? Old school Tribal. And we've seen similar things from Brightspark, that it just has no chance in the late game if it gets to that stage. Yeah, the archetypes are still in effect, very much so. We have rush AIs versus late game AIs, aggressive versus passive AIs, and on 4v4s, the boomy AIs, the late game AIs, like default, have still the edge over the aggressive AIs like Tribal. And there we go, that's 1-1, GG. We are tied up and going into the third game for this match. The decider will be the 2 versus 2, which could play out like 2 1v1s, but of course it also depends on the map. Yeah, I mean, the knight, I already said it, I think Tribal could have done more damage in the early castle age when it had all of its knights attacking. Like, one thing is, you could research more blacksmith upgrades, the armor for the knights. You could then dive the TCs with impunity, not care about that. Stop retreating if you have enough knights and you have the armor upgrades. You can just run under the TCs, not give a fuck. And idle the economy and kill villagers all day. You could have done more damage there, I think. Alright, starting my game up again for the 2v2. Who is it gonna be that makes it to the grand final? And I think it could come down, as it does so many times, to the map generation. Because as the gods of FenCrazy like reminding us, we are always at their whim. This time in the 2v2. We're gonna have 2 defaults here. Let's try to start in it. Yeah, red and yellow for default. Tribal on blue and green. With the custom civs, team 1 versus team 2, medium size. Let's see what we're gonna see. Burmese Berbers for Tribal. Tatars Britons for default. But the map is gonna be a lot more important. And what is it gonna be? Again, 1 TC, 3 villagers, 1 scout. Very normal map. Very normal map generation. Oh, but we seem to have a choke point between waters. So once again, water here. 3 bodies of water, same as last time, with some fish in the middle. And they're not that plentiful as they were in the 4v4, but there are fish here. And between them, there's this tiny isthmus, a choke point with a hill and a gold on it as well. So we're gonna be fighting through here. We do in fact have flanks and pockets, I guess, with red and green being the flanks and blue and yellow being the pockets, but the AIs won't know that. So I'm guessing both of the tribals will think they're the flank and might both go for skirmishes, I'm guessing. Maybe that's what's gonna happen here. Will we also see default go for its early docks again? That's another thing I'm wondering. As for the resources, is there anything crazy here? Yes, there is. 6,000 food on some of the sheep. 6,000 food. Once again, not quite unlimited. It's not quite 30k, not quite 23k as it was in game 1. But 6k is still a lot. That is not gonna run out for a long time. Maybe well into Imperial Age. We'll see. A lot of food. But other than that, very normal start, very default start. 1 TC, 3 villagers, 1 scout. Just like default maps. We have stone. We have gold. Okay, we have infinite gold from the looks of it. You might not have to trade here. Less wood on the trees, so maybe you have to build lumber camps more often. But the gold here. You don't necessarily have to trade on this map with that much gold on your main gold pile. This is the main gold pile for each player. That has over 21k. Where is it for green? It's this one, yeah. For blue it might actually be problematic because for AIs it could be difficult to fit in a mining camp here. I know build rules for AI are always difficult. There's always terrain you can't build on for whatever reason. And it might have a problem fitting in a mining camp here. Maybe if it builds it right here, it could still be good. Other than that, also berries also have more, as we saw the sheep. There's also deer and boar on the map, but they are not gonna matter that much, as the sheep do. So what can we expect? Like I said, tribal is probably gonna go for a skirmisher flush from both of them, thinking that they're both flanks. Default, we never know. Has a variety of strategies these days. But they could go for water, which might give them an edge economically, but might also leave them exposed militarily. We already see a dock for red, and yellow is also coming to build a dock in the same spot here. Are they making fishing ships yet? Red, there's your dock there. Yes, red is already making fishing ships. The tribals not yet up to fuel age. Gonna take a while despite having that much food. At least tribal doesn't rush the fuel age. It always goes up like 22, 25 villagers, something like that. Definitely a slow fuel age before it goes for the full aggression. Unlike Bright Spark, which forces its 18 villager fuel age, often with a lot of idle time on the TC, and a much weaker economy, which is not well advised for AIs, unless you have really good economic control. Blue says it is on the right side of its team as opposed to the wrong side, which would be green. Oh, and okay, the tribe is also docking and making fishing ships, both of them. Here. And they just pinged something. Maybe guessing where the enemies are. Alright then. We have green almost in fuel age. Blue, same. Defaults also going up, both of them, all around the same time. On 22, 23, 24 villagers, all of them. But the defaults had their docks earlier, made fishing ships earlier, and they are fishing. Rival made his fishing ships later. And the docks have been scouted, looks like. Blue only now building it. No, this is just cheap scouting, from the looks of it. Alrighty then. Tribal. Green. No barracks. Second dock. Fire galley in the queue. Oh, Tribal, do you want to play this as a water map, do you? Blue, same thing. No barracks. Fire galley in the queue. Okay, then, Tribal, I haven't seen this before. Tribal wanting to play this as a water map. Or as a hybrid map, I guess. No land military, just fire galleys. But they are not attacking. Do you know where to go, Tribal? Yes, Tribals have scouted the docks from default down there, but are not attacking them. First 2 fire galleys are out, 1 for each, and maybe Green's now moving forward to attack. And losing a scout here, whatever. This is gonna attack here. Oh, default actually building a tower. Trying to building towers, both of them building towers on their docks. That's something we've seen default do a few times also. They also have... Red has some fire galleys garrisoned here. I guess as does yellow now. And... I think default should be able to defend here. It just needs to ungarrison. And what, I don't know what this fire galley is doing. Don't tell me it's just exploring. So both of them want to play this as a water map. Interesting. No land pressure from any of them. No land presence from any of them. And I'm thinking that's bad for Tribal, right? Because if Tribal can't win the game on land early enough, then Tribal's never gonna win. That's just how Tribal does, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know how Tribal is gonna win if it can't win early on land. That's the only way Tribal ever wins. Same as Brightspark, same as all aggressive AIs. So maybe a wrong strategic decision here. You really should go for your land pressure and attack them while you have a chance to win. Don't let them boom up to Imperial Age. Lots of fishing ships for the defaults. Yeah, we only have 1 fire galley here. I don't think it's gonna do anything, honestly. But the defaults still have all of their ships garrisoned. They have a lot, like Red here. Red has 9 fire galleys inside its docks. It never ungarrisoned them. Why is it? Oh, now finally, just as I say that, it ungarrisons its fire galleys. I think it still hasn't lost a single fishing ships. But now Yellow also ungarrisoning its 4 fire galleys. But Red's already retreating again. 10 fire galleys and moving back. Why are you not attacking? I know you've scouted this. I've seen it before. You've scouted these docks. But not doing anything. Not doing anything, okay. Is anyone up to Castle Age? No. Not close either. I guess Green is the closest one. But still making a lot of fire ships here. Or now finally making a lot of ships. That's a big overinvestment into water from both AIs, in my opinion. The default's building a market also still. Here, Red. Making fire galleys from 3 docks. And same for Yellow. Full fire galley. Okay, the Tribals have also docked the middle. The Tribals have docked the middle and are also making ships down here. And especially fire galleys are not going to achieve anything in this middle water. And okay, also on the right side, so we have Tribal has now docked all 3 bodies of water. Both of them have docked all 3 bodies of water from the looks of it. And any military ships built here are gonna be completely useless because that is in the back of you, Tribal. That is unfortunate for sure. Definitely unfortunate. But the defaults are still not using their naval advantage on this sea. But it looks like the Tribals are the first one up the Castle Age, at least the Green is. And we still see no barracks. Are we gonna see barracks stable? I still don't see any single barracks here, so no, it does not have one. At the same time, look at this mass of ships here from default that it's not using. Like, this many fire galleys is never gonna be good. But not using them either. Come on, default. I think water is still bad for all AIs. There are few enough that can play it, and I think they would be better off not playing it if I'm being honest. That's why I never bothered personally. Fuck water, shouldn't even be in the game. everything is gonna change again when they bring in the water overhaul that's planned for the game. So I think any effort on water is gonna be wasted for most, if not all, AIs. You're just wasting your fucking effort, both in scripting and in the game itself. It's useless. Yeah, it's futile. There was one game in this tournament where water was actually important. It was quite a heavy water map. There was a bit of like an archipelago. There were shallows all between them. I believe it was Brightspark versus Naga or something like that. Yeah, I think it was Brightspark versus Naga, like first or second match of the tournament in the upper bracket. Where there was a lot of water on the map. And Navy actually played a big difference. That was an interesting game, Asti. But right here, default, are you finally using it now? Are you finally attacking? Yellow has reached Castle Age and is now moving forward with its galleys and getting the war galley upgrade as well. Its fire galleys, I should say. But Green also got its war galley upgrade just in time, but it doesn't have much navy here because its navy is split between all three bodies of water for tribal. And it can't bring it all to bear where it matters, which would be right here where it's under attack right now. Now Yellow has the war galley upgrade and it's gonna smash all this water here that tribal has. And then it's gonna be over for this water, at least for tribal. It does also have a few fishing ships here. I see 2 in this body of water and none here. Okay, 2 here as well. Not much, but it's something. The bigger problem for tribal is all of the sunk resources and honestly population space that's in these warships here that are never gonna be used. Maybe in the middle they could be used. Okay, in the middle, default try to dock the middle here, and these docks are actually gonna go down, so maybe the navy in the middle not quite useless, but on land we have not seen a single fucking thing from any of them. We have now red starting up its boom in Castle Age, 3 TCs, yellow 4 TCs already, tribal, blue only has a second one, and green also on 2 TCs on land, still no land military for any of them. And yeah, looks like the defaults took out the docks from tribal on the outside sea. And now these ships are actually gonna go... Yeah, now these ships here are gonna go to waste mostly, especially the fire galleys. I mean, the galleys, if they could camp this isthmus here, they could still do damage to these villagers or any army that passes through from tribal. But other than that, all these fire galleys are gonna be wasted population space too. I don't like this game at all, man. Overinvestment into water. It's just ugly. It's ugly. It's not good. I think you'd be better off acting like Illuminati, pretending water didn't exist. You might actually have a better outcome on this map. Britain's building a castle. I guess it wants to go for longbows. And we saw the defaults already heavily booming. Population now, both of the defaults are around 100 or above. The tribals are not that far behind, but... Blue, okay, blue 30C, green still on 2. And in terms of fishing ships, yeah, the defaults have some fishing ships over here. Only red, I guess. Yellow didn't make many fishing ships, I guess because it built its stock later. Only had one here. Okay, it has stocks here, but no fishing ships here, curiously enough. So yellow didn't make as many fishing ships. And tribal still has some fishing ships in the bodies of water itself controls. But yeah, not a big difference. Not a big advantage. Okay, the defaults want to trade from here to what here? Right in the line of fire of tribal's navy. Yeah, not a good trade route. Especially on the map like this where you don't need to trade at all looking at the gold. So I don't know, maybe tribal still has a chance. But what's it want to do? Okay, now looks like the war galleys. Most of default's navy is still fire ships, so they're gonna be quite useless here. But the galleys at least could range anything that comes through here, and this is the only land bridge. What are we looking at default? booming it up. 123 population, 138 for the defaults. Tribal still just under 100. Yellow even building a second castle. I guess it wants to go heavy into its longbows, which is of course a very good unit for the Britons. And some mangonels here fighting off this navy, but being in range of the fire ships, yeah, you're just gonna go down. So we have default controlling the outside water up to here, and tribal the other side with this body of water, which also makes a difference, which might even turn out to be the most important one because it can range quite a bit of the shoreline here. And also this one, which is sadly completely useless and has so many ships here that are completely useless. There's not much happening in this game. I'm actually gonna speed it up because there's nothing happening. Come on. Do something. Make some land units. Don't place all your population space on water where it's gonna be useless for the most part. Default tribal actually going for the water trade from this dock here from green to this dock, I guess, from blue. Yeah. So a water trade route from tribal. That's interesting. I guess tribal really thinks this is a full water map. I still see no military buildings on land at all. At least yellow made some castles and mangonels and longbows. It's now up into Imperial Age actually. I guess I can slow it down again. Maybe yellow's gonna do something. And what's red doing? Red is also up to Imperial Age. In Imperial Age now. And making... I see no military units in the queue. Fuck it, I'm gonna keep it on 4 times speed. The tribals are being able to range quite a bit of defaults villagers here on the economy along the shorelines. Mostly woodcutters. So maybe causing a bit of idle time, but not getting too much done. Default still far ahead in the boom. Yeah, far ahead in the boom. The tribals are critical. SD, are you here? Are you here? Is that a critical bug I see? You look at the resources in the tribals banks, and look at this. They're not building houses. They're housed and they're not building houses. That's gotta be a critical fucking bug if ever I've seen one. SD, critical bug. Come on. Oh, that is so critical. Here. They have so many resources in the back. Thousands of each resources, but housed at 100 pop, 95 pop. Oh, yeah. SD thinks it might debug. I'm not that confident. It is still critically bugged. Completely critically bugged. How is it bug? How is a bug like that even get into the AI? Like, how is that possible? How does that even happen? How does that happen? I can't fathom it. It's gotta be some really, really bad scripting, SD. Really bad scripting. Get good is all I can say. Oh, and another water trade route here, I guess, which is also bad. Again, this body of water is quite detrimental to tribal. Yeah, I don't see that bugging. It's not making houses. It's still, the population limits stay the same. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it on 4 times speed now because critical bug doesn't look like tribal should have any chance now. Fix your shit, SD. You did not deserve 3rd place. But you got it anyway. Everyone gets lucky once in a while. Even Illuminati wanted FenCrazyThing once. Yeah, so for the cider game, sure, we exposed a lot of bugs. That's been the theme in this tournament for most AIs. Exposing bugs and, yeah, even villagers being idle for whatever reason. Like, why are these villagers idle? I don't know, tribal, you tell me. Critical bugs, multiple critical bugs for tribal. And that's when once we get past all of the other problems that both of these AIs had here, like overinvestment into water and not good usage of its navy. but default is winning. It's less buggy. It did not critically bug. Default did. And yeah. Looks like we're gonna be seeing a rematch of the Promi War in the grand final. Promi versus Promi, Default versus Naga.
Stone, please.
Quite fitting for this tournament because those are the only two AIs we have not seen critically bug. Oh no, we have actually. We have seen Default critically bug. But maybe that's gonna give Naga the edge. Maybe Naga deserves to win this tournament. I think it does. But all the other AIs,
Stone, please.
sure, Game Squad is a lot weaker anyway. Brightspark had some... Brightspark was very weak sometimes
Stone,
in certain situations. Had economic problems, had late game problems. Illuminati had some critical bugs. Tribal had some critical bugs, as you see right now in this game. That's how it goes in this tournament. Yeah, we're seeing more critical bugs than I'm used to from AIs these days. Maybe FenCrazy has been out of the rotation for too long. Yes, it's true. It has been 7 years since the last FenCrazyThing. 7 years. And it shows the AIs are not ready for it. Well, we know what that means, right? We need FenCrazyThing 10, don't we? FenCrazyThing 10. We need this map played more often. We need AIs ready for it. We need more AIs ready for it, because we saw in this tournament here, some AIs didn't even make it into the tournament because they never got updated in time. For example, Immortal was not updated for the big patches to the game this year. Or the general also was not updated for FenCrazy. So neither of these AIs even made it into the tournament. In the tournament, yeah, Tribal, maybe the best of the other AIs, other than the two Promis. Still critically bugged. Illuminati had a few critical bugs. One over here. I think one kind of over here in the 4v4, just a TC placement, so crippled it too much. Yeah, I think almost everyone has to go back to the drawing board and get better at some of these things. And fix some bugs. Work on a lot of things, honestly. I'm not quite confident that Brightspark will ever be a competent late game AI, or a competent team game AI, or a competent FenCrazy AI. But it should be, it really should be, if Bandit would just focus his efforts on the things that actually matter, on mastering the basics. I'm not sure if he will. I hope he does. Tribal and Illuminati are a lot closer, that's for sure.